What's up, guys? It's Allie, and as you may have noticed, I didn't upload a video last week. Really, truth be told, this past week, 2 weeks, has been really hard for me. I'm not really gonna go into details on that, because it's kind of just personal stuff, but just know that I'm not leaving you guys hanging. So while today is not like a really involved video like a tutorial or anything like that, I am getting something out for you guys, and questions that I get a lot are often about shows I go to. And so I was looking around on Tumblr, and as it would turn out, there's like a concert ask meme. So I guess I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go through this list of questions about different stuff related to concerts, and maybe that'll answer some of your questions if you had any involving that. I know that some people do. So I'm just going to go down this list, and that's going to be today's video. I'm going to call it the concert tag, I guess. So, question number 1. How many concerts have you been to? That's really hard for me to answer. I can tell you how many bands I've seen. I've seen upwards of 150 different bands. To say that I know exactly how many concerts I've been to over the years, because I've been going on shows for about 10 years now. I'm not sure I could really give you a solid number on how many shows I've been to. Sorry. Have I been to any festivals? Yes, I have. I have been to Leeds Festival. I still have some footage of that if you guys want that. If you want to see footage from Leeds Festival 2015, let me know down below in the comments. Yeah, I think that's the only festival I've ever been to. I guess up here in the northeastern US, we don't really have a lot in the way of music festivals. What artist or band have I seen the most live? For those of you up here in New England, I think technically the band I've seen the most is a band called Sparks the Rescue. But in terms of like bands that kind of like everyone here would know, I think it's gotta be All Time Low. I think it's All Time Low. First concert I went to. God, I could tell you everything about this show. I remember it very vividly. It was November 18th of 2006 at the Tsongas Arena in Lowell, Mass. And it was the Plain White T's, Jack's Mannequin, and Panic at the Disco on the Nothing Rhymes with Circus tour. Fever You Can't Sweat Out era Panic. The last concert I went to, as you guys know, I capture a lot of my shows on Show Addiction now, so the last show I went to was Mainland in Marianas Trench. My next concert, really very up in the air right now. There are shows that I'm planning on going to, but it might not work out. There are shows that I might not have even heard of yet, that I might just happen to get my way into. So yeah, I don't really know, but hopefully it's gonna be something good, and you can guarantee I'll probably be capturing it on Show Addiction. What artist or bands would I love to see live that I haven't already seen live? I'd love to see Blink-182, especially now that they've got Matt Skiba. That would be really cool. I haven't seen Blink before. I'm trying to just think of like in terms of who I want to see that I haven't seen, because like a lot of my absolute favorites I have. Yeah, I'll leave it at Blink. The farthest I've traveled to go for a show. I did travel for Leeds Festival. I've gone to LA for a show. I've done Maryland, I've done Chicago. I've done a lot of traveling for shows. The best opening act I've seen, that's a really hard one, because like a lot of times I'll end up falling in love with the opener after the fact. Like right now, everyone should go check out Mainland. That's how I first heard of Young Guns. One of my favorites. So there are a lot of openers. So to say that I know of a best one, I'm not sure I could give you an answer for that. Worst opening act I've seen. There are a lot of like little tiny local acts that have been really awful, but in terms of like a national opener, Stars in Stereo were really bad. They opened up for Yumi at 6 back in the fall of 2014. They were not good talent-wise. I think their merch table was actually selling like BDSM paddles with like their band name on them, and they brought out like I think it was their drummer for birthday Spanx. That was kind of fucked up. So I think it would probably be Stars in Stereo. Have I met any bands or artists at a concert? Too many times to count. The one thing I have to bring to a concert, my phone with external battery packs. Both I want to be documenting shit, and I don't want to be dealing with trying to get home and not being able to reach anyone. The most I've ever paid for a concert ticket, I mean, I paid a lot for my Leeds ticket, but at the same time that was 3 days, and that included camping and everything, so I think that equated to like $450 US, which is the most I think I've ever paid for like to get into any kind of show, even though it was a festival. For one show, I think it would be $300, which There's a long explanation with that I won't bother getting into, but it wasn't just like $300 for the show. It was for like a weekend in LA. The best concert I've been to. That's a hard one. Monument Tour was really good. That was Fall Out Boy, Paramore, and New Politics. That was a really good show. This last one I went to, Marianas Trench with Mainland, was really good, and so was The Academy Is with Party Baby back in December. Like, over time, there have been a lot of really good shows I've gone to, so that's really hard to narrow down, honestly. Worst concert I've ever been to. Ooh. That's another really hard call because I usually end up liking at least like one of the bands. I'm trying to think if there were like any shows I've ever been to that were just like completely unsalvageable. I'm not sure there are. Maybe some really small local show that I didn't even want to go to. It was just something to do. Have I ever been in a social media post an artist posted after a show? Yes. Funniest concert memory. Okay, so some of you have seen on social media my picture with the guys from Mainland, and I've gotten a lot of compliments like, oh, that's a really great picture. The story behind that picture is we were just gonna be taking a normal picture, and then the drummer, Joey's phone goes off, and his ringtone is fucking D's nuts! And so our faces in that photo are literally our reaction to his phone going off, and it's D's nuts. Oh, another really good one. It wasn't at the concert. It was actually related to a concert that took place across town. But a friend and I had gone to go see You Me at 6 and Tonight Alive at Paradise in Boston back in 2013. Now, on the way back to her apartment where I was staying that night, we had to pass the House of Blues, which had the Somerset and 303 playing that night. And so we were walking back to her apartment from Paradise, and we noticed it's Brian Dales from the Somerset walking down the other side of the street. So what does my friend do as we pass Brian Dales? If I was Jay-Z, you'd be my Beyonce, and we fucking booked it past him before he could say anything. And it's probably better that way. So both of those were really funny moments. Do you buy your tickets as soon as they go on sale, after, or the day of? I will say I really rarely do them the day of unless it's like a local show that I know I'm not gonna have a problem getting into. If it's a show that I really, really care about, I will get them as soon as they go on sale, but a lot of the time it's just like it's just some point random before the show that I just happen to have the money, and I'm like, hey, I'll finally shell out the cash for these. Have you ever been noticed by an artist at a concert? Definitely. I've gotten free shit for it before. Why not? Have I met any internet friends at a concert? Definitely. Hey guys! What concert that you've been to has had the best stage setup / production? Within the last few years, All Time Low has had really good ones. There was a co-headliner they had done with Pierce the Veil, the Spring Fever tour, and Pierce the Veil also had like a really cool stage setup that tour. Marianas Trench had a really cool setup with the screens this last time I just saw them. I'll leave it at that. Have I ever caught a guitar pick, drumstick, got a set list, etc.? All of the above. Favorite concert venue? Ooh, favorite is hard. I really like Paradise in Boston. I'm starting to really like the House of Blues in Boston. Oh, what's the name of the one in Baltimore? Rams Head Live. Rams Head Live is a really well set up venue. The sound is really good. So, yeah, I would say my favorite is probably Rams Head Live, even though I've only been there once. Least favorite concert venue? No competition, the Tsongas Arena in Lowell, Massachusetts. I hate going to shows here. Like, just thinking about it. Ugh, shitty venue. Which do I prefer, indoor or outdoor concerts? I think indoor, just because I'm really into, like, club atmospheres. Those are probably my favorites, are club shows. So, I would say probably indoor. Which do you prefer, clubs, theaters, arenas, or stadiums? Clubs. I love the really intimate shows. Stadiums and stuff are okay, but if I had to pick, I would pick a club every time. Have I ever missed school or work to go to a concert? I remember the first time Marianas Trench toured the States, my mom yanked me out of school to make the drive down to Foxborough. But I think besides that, I was never allowed to miss school the day after a show or anything. My parents were like, no, if you're gonna go to the show, you have to go to school the next day, which, totally understandable. And, in terms of work, I mean, YouTube is what I do for work now, but before that, I'd only ever worked at a Dunkin' Donuts, and I worked there for about 3 months when I was a senior in high school, so I don't think I ever missed any work. I only worked on weekends. I don't think I ever missed any work at Dunkin' Donuts, so probably not. Have I ever been surprised with tickets from someone? Like, gotten them as a gift? Yeah, I've gotten tickets for gifts plenty of times. Who do I enjoy going to concerts with? Honestly, usually I prefer to roll solo for shows. If I am going to shows with someone, I do like going with my friend Megan. Megan's really good to go to shows with. Yeah, other than that, I kind of really prefer to go solo. That's, like, really weird, I know, but that's just me. General admission or seated concerts? GA, 100%, no question. I feel really confined with seated shows, and it's really just not what I like to be dealing with. Have I ever been to multiple dates for one tour? I've talked about doing it, but I've never actually done it. Have I been to concerts 2 or more days in a row? Yes, even back in December. Wednesday, I was in Boston for Fall Out Boy and Andrew McMahon at the House of Blues. The next day, I was back in Boston for Kiss 108's Jingle Ball, and then I was back in Boston on that Sunday for the Academy Is, and then the next Saturday, I was there for Armor for Sleep. That was probably my wildest run, was 4 in 11 days, but 2 of those were back-to-back. Have I ever received free tickets from a contest or an artist's crew? Definitely. Absolutely. Have you been front row and or back row at a concert? I'm very often front row. Back row, if I really don't care about the artist, I'll chill out in the back of the venue. Have I ever gotten sick, bruised, or broken a bone after a concert? No broken bones. Probably a couple bruises, like, in the rib area. Sick? Maybe. Maybe I've gotten sick after a show. Have you ever had surprise guests at a concert that you attended? It doesn't really happen here in the Northeast, I'm not gonna lie. There's not a ton of artists that are from up here that are, like, surprise guests. So, did you start listening to an opening act after you saw them in concert? All the time. That's where you find some of the best music. All of your favorite bands were an opener at some point. The latest I've gotten home from a concert, a couple days later. Like, a lot of times for shows, I'll stay with a friend somewhere, so I won't be getting home until, like, the next day or the day after that, because I'll be hanging out with my friends. In terms of, like, when I actually, like, get back after the concert, probably no later than the next morning. What's the earliest I've ever arrived to a venue for a concert? Probably 11 in the morning. Have I seen my favorite artist in concert? Yes, I have. I've completed the trifecta of Something Corporate, Jack's Mannequin, and Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. Andrew McMahon is my favorite musician, if you didn't know. Longest I've waited in line for a concert? Probably 8 hours? Ballpark? Have I ever attended a concert alone? I just went over this. Yes, all the time. The best part of a concert, in my opinion. Honestly, I just love the fucking atmosphere. Like, you're there with people that are into the music just like you are, and you're all connecting with the artist performing the music. I love that feeling so, so much. Just being in that environment and soaking it all in. I love it. Indescribable, incomparable experience. Have I ever heard or seen an artist sound check before their show? Yes. The biggest venue you've been to a concert at? I think technically it'd be the one I went to for Leeds. I think it's Brown Park is what it's called. I don't know, I don't live in the UK, so I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. The smallest venue I've ever been to a concert at? I think it would be the Dover Brick House. Have I ever had side stage seats? Yes. Which venue have you been to the most concerts at? Ooh, I actually don't know. Been to a lot at the Brick House. I went to a lot at the station back in the day. Maybe the House of Blues now? That's a really hard question. Do you post a lot about a concert you've attended on social media or very little? I do show addiction. I do quite a bit of posting about it. Has a concert or tour you were planning on going to gotten canceled and not been rescheduled? I don't think so. I have been to one that was rescheduled from the spring to the fall because a singer had vocal issues. Have you seen a band in concert before a member left the band or they broke up? I saw Panic before Ryan and John left. But yeah, definitely. Favorite song you've heard live? I have heard Watch the Sky live. I've heard Constantine live, which makes me a very, very happy Allie. Have you ever seen an artist or band play an album in full? That's like the trend right now, isn't it? Like 10-year anniversary tours for all these albums. Like, I've documented a couple of these for Show Addiction. I've definitely done that. Which artist would you refuse to see in concert? Refuse to see. Like, flat out refuse? Probably Blood on the Dance Floor. I don't think I could handle seeing them live. What's the craziest thing a fan has done at a concert you've been to? So it was this little tiny show I was at this past December, and it was a 21 plus show with Fall Out Boy, which is unheard of. And there's a little handful of us waiting outside of the bus to like see if they come out and talk to anyone, and they literally had to just walk by us. They weren't allowed to stop because some asshole tried to get into their dressing room. Literally the closest I've ever gotten to meeting Fall Out Boy. I'm bitter. I'm very bitter. Like, the venue called police and they were not allowed to stop. They flat out were not allowed to. We don't talk about it. Also, I have literally been next to those kinds of fans where I've had elbows jabbed into my ribs, and it was for a band called Bad Sons, and I definitely heard yelling, "Christo, have my babies," and these girls couldn't have been older than like 14. So I thought those kinds of people were like a myth, but they were definitely there. Which venue would you love to go to for a concert? I'd love to go to MSG. I think that would be insanely cool. It'd be really cool to go to SPAC. Have you ever been to a concert at a venue that no longer exists? Definitely. I miss the station in Portland, Maine like hell. Have you ever lost something or gotten something stolen at a concert? No, because I'm extremely paranoid and have like a hand on my bag at all times. I have a zipper crossbody bag and my hand's like on it all the time, so I've never lost anything at a show or gotten anything stolen. Have people made fun of you or laughed because of how you were acting at a concert? Not that I'm aware of. I hope not. Have you ever been kicked out of a concert? No, I have not. Has an artist thrown or spit water on you? Yeah, I'm looking at you, Travis Barker. This was seeing Plus 44, not Blink-182, for the record. Because I know I just said that I haven't seen Blink-182, and that might have confused some of you. Have you ever seen a security guard dance to a song at a concert? No, I feel like New England security tends to be really kind of stoic. Have you seen any acts you don't like at a concert? Definitely, especially like the kind of mash-up pop concerts, like especially the radio station concerts, where it's just like a total mishmash of artists, and I'll like one or two, but the rest I won't give a flying shit about. So yeah, definitely. Have you ever passed out or thrown up at a concert? Luckily, no. And finally, have you ever seen any artists in concert that you don't like anymore? Not really, because I mean, if I like an artist, generally I don't stop liking them. I might get, like, less into them, but I can't think of any bands that I've ever listened to that I ever, like, stopped liking. So I'm gonna have to say no. Alright, that was a lot, so that's gonna do it for this video, which means all there's left to do is remind you guys of my social media. That's gonna be Twitter, @Allie_Saint, Instagram, @Allie.Saint. I have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/AllieSaintYouTube, and my Tumblr account is alliesaint.tumblr.com. Here on YouTube, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Love to see those thumbs. And hit that big red shiny subscribe button down below. Hopefully next week's video will be a little bit more involved. Sorry that today is kind of a cop-out video. But until next time, peace out, guys.